Yo, hit that like, hit that subscribe, download, giddy up, and let's go.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. Monday morning quarterback, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. We know many of us and our families deal with mental health or addiction issues, so we are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, family out there joining us. Welcome in. Ton to talk about. March Madness, live reactions throughout the show. One game on right now. Some big ones tonight. It's been madness. It's been crazy. It's been fun to watch. We'll have some Eagles, Sixers Q&A. I know people are excited about Kyle Pitts and 40 times and shirts in a T-shirt. I mean, listen, the guy can run. We knew he was a specimen. You take him inside the top 10 with the injury concerns. We'll talk a little bit about that because people are excited and fired up. We'll have the latest Eagles rumors. Adoree Jackson in town, supposedly today. Joe Flacco supposedly in town today. We'll see. We'll see. You know who we would sign out of that? Like Adoree Jackson wouldn't sign with us, and we would end up like 1 for 2, and Flacco signs with, which does nothing for anybody. That's not a shot at Joe. That's just like I don't care who the other quarterback is because it's Jalen Hurts' job for 17 games. So I don't care. I don't care. I want Adoree Jackson at this point. So we'll talk about some guys that are out there still available. And obviously the draft when it comes to the Eagles. But our main topic at hand is going to be Sixers. We'll play a little deal or no deal in a little bit after we get through the poll question. And a good basketball team. I mean, 30-13. The only other team with 30 wins in the league is Utah. All right, we're 4-1 without Joel Embiid. We're feeling good about ourselves right now. Last night's a tough game, a back-to-back. The Knicks are gritty. We know what they are this year. Thibodeau's teams are always Pomsy. They always get up in you. So last night's a really good win for me. I know a lot of people are upset about last night's win, and we're going to get into all this in a little bit. And to me, like context in wins, right? Context in losses. So we're going to talk about all that, and then we're going to play a little game of deal or no deal with you guys and the family. So we'll get into that. Our poll question brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com. You can use promo code A2D. Get yourself 20% off at checkout. BodyCheckWellness.com. Promo code A2D. 20% off at checkout. Our poll, it would be a mistake for the Sixers to trade for Kyle Lowry. Do you agree or disagree? And this has been a topic of conversation on Twitter earlier today. My guy, running back Philly, DJ, I love him. He's the best. We don't disagree on anything when it comes to the Sixers. The first time we've ever had a disagreement. Okay, so which is great. This is what it's all about. This is why we talk sports. Okay, so I agree. It would be a huge mistake at 35 years old to trade for him. People say, well, Tom, you're going to give him an extension. I don't want to give him an extension. He's 35 years old. I don't want to extend him. I'm winning games right now, and guys are stepping up. So right now, like, why would I want to mess with anything? I want the chemistry I like about this basketball team. Okay, and everybody's like, well, it was ugly, and You just blew the Kings out the night before. All right. You couldn't miss. So last night, you obviously couldn't make a shot. And Tobias couldn't make free throws down the stretch, could have iced the game in the fourth. All right. All that. But the response to it, they came back in OT and they hit big shots. All right. And they got out of there with a win. And at the end of the day, that's all it's going to matter to me, especially when you're missing Joel Embiid and Seth Curry. But you're missing Joel Embiid. We can just leave it there. You're missing the MVP of the league, and people were upset about winning. Okay, I can't. I can't anymore in this city, right? I'm fine with like adding a piece. Somebody wants to add a piece, fine. Let's add a piece. I'm not screwing up this chemistry. And it's deal or no deal. It's gonna be very difficult for you because you might not get a deal from me. It's gonna be very hard to be able to get me to make a deal because I like the younger guys, and I don't want to necessarily part ways with them because I don't think my windows is closed is as short as everybody thinks it is, and as close as everybody thinks it is. I think this window is wide open. You know, it's a sunny day with the airflow. It's an agree all day. 35-year-old Kyle Lowry. Like, what has he done in the playoffs? Kawhi Leonard won that ring for him. I'm going to help everybody out. And I love Kyle Lowry. All right. And 2-3 years ago, maybe. Right? I would have taken him. Okay? Because he's an aggressive guy. He's a Philly guy. I get it. All right? But come on, guys. He's 35 years old, and it is a young man's game to a point. Right? You can play to a high level when you're older. But people want to extend them for 2 years? Get the hell out of here. And Anthony, the problem is what you got to give up is always going to be having to match contracts. So it's not like I can fleece them per se. I got to match the money. So I got to give up something worth money. And this is why I'm a hard no on this. You guys want to talk to me about other players? Fine. I don't know why Kyle Lowry, everybody said he makes you instantly better. Well, does he? Does he? He's been banged up. He doesn't win in the postseason. He does not win in the postseason. Him and DeRozan were number one seeds all the time, and they couldn't win. The biggest knock on Lowry and DeRozan was postseason. And I like Kyle Lowry. All right? Dan, okay, I'm giving up a 3-time NBA champion to get him in Danny Green. And I understand on paper, it looks better. I don't know, something about Danny Green and everywhere he goes wins. I think you need to start factoring it in. I think people need to literally take a step back and start factoring in everywhere that guy goes. He wins games. It wins games, and they win chips. They cut down the nets. All right, everywhere in March Madness talk, they cut down the nets. All right, that's what Danny Green does. All right, with five steals and 3 blocks last night before he even showed up on the points showed up in the stat sheet. So people go to stats. Oh, Danny, no, hit big shots when it mattered, didn't he? Didn't he in the fourth in OT hit a couple big shots when it mattered? All right, and in the fourth quarter, he had a big one. So I think everybody needs to lock it up for a second and understand like what's your part and ways with. Because after the other game, when they lost to Milwaukee, he made everybody go hit the weight room because they were pissed off defensively. Think about that. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, change this, and we're playing 2K. Move this guy in, bring this guy in, move and shake the whole fucking roster." Chemistry matters. If you were on a skid, have a conversation with me, okay? Right? If Joel Embiid's out for a long period of time, fine. But you already know what kind of level this basketball team plays with when Joel's here. So you can be critical of whatever you want. They're winning basketball games. We're the number one seed to be to the East right now, and the Nets haven't stopped winning. Think about that. The Nets haven't stopped winning, and we're still number one in the Eastern Conference. Mm-hmm. Right? We're getting it done by guys just stepping up. All kinds of different guys. Right? Maxey gave you a little run last night. A tiny bit of instant offense when he got a little run. Right? Matisse. Right? Matisse hit a couple threes. Right? Good to see. Hit a 3 or 2. So these things matter. Right? You're winning games last night without Seth and Joe. 2 straight games without Seth and Joe. You're winning back-to-backs. Come on. And everybody wants to trade everybody? Trade this guy, trade that guy. I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm pissed off they won. This is a loss to me. Come on, ain't no such thing as a win being a loss. Listen. You play sports, win a game is never a loss. You can say, "Oh, I can play better." Understand? You can say, "Oh, I got to play better." Sure, win's never a loss. Tell the guys that are advancing in the brackets right now. Tell them teams that you won it, but it's sort of counts as a loss. Excuse me? Just won a basketball game. What are you talking about? That's a loss. We just won. We just celebrated a win. What happened? Right? I understand. Ugly game. Back to back. All right, but a win. And tough teams find ways to do that. So I agree. I am not, if you want to upgrade some things on the bench, fine. But I am not trading for Kyle Lowry because I'm gonna have to give up stuff I don't personally want to give up. And that starts with Danny Green. So shut up. Anybody out there that's begging for Danny Green to be traded, I just suggest you stop. You're not watching him. You're not watching the goddamn game. And I'm not a Danny Green goddamn apologist. You just don't watch the game. I would have thought the same thing at times, especially in LA. Like, oh, what does he do? And then you watch him play, and he plays great defense all the time. So I agree. I don't know how anybody goes, you guys want Kyle Lowry. People out there want Kyle Lowry. Just calm down. Calm down. He's freaking so overrated at this point at 35 years old. 35 years old, we're going to trade all these things for him for freaking 2.5 months. And then, sign him, Tom. He's give him a 3-year extension. Just pay him till he's 40. What? What? What'd you say? Did you say pay him till he's 40? What's he, Tom Brady? The hell are we talking about? Danny Green is a winner. And Danny Green ain't no packages. So if somebody calls me about Danny Green, I'm hanging up the goddamn phone. Unless it's a fucking star. So, nobody call me about Danny Green. So
I'm good. I understand people really want Kyle, they want Kyle Lowry right now. And he's kind of like the most popular name. It's all bring him back to Philly, all that. No disrespect to him as a player. He's a very good player. And I know people, like I've seen it in the comments, in response to what you were saying, Tom, like, oh, he would make us better. No one's disagreeing with that, okay? But it's all about, and people are saying, oh, well, I would trade for him, but it's about what they want in return. Well, we kind of know what they want in return, and that's kind of the same storyline. Tom and I were talking about it before the show, so before anyone brings up this other guy's name, I think we'll just give you this answer too. It's kind of the same situation with what the Rockets want for Victor Oladipo. It's way too friggin' much. It's way too much. Now, and we'll definitely see it with the, when we do the deal or no deal stuff in a little bit. But I've always been kind of on the side of the more splashier type move, just because I believe we are that close and we do have, kind of a hill to climb when you play the Nets and you look at the Western Conference if you do get to the finals. But to me, if you're giving up the type of assets and the type of kind of haul that you would have to get a Kyle Lowry, well, I'm not doing it for Kyle Lowry. If I'm giving up all those assets, Danny Green, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, 3 first-rounders, et cetera, if I'm changing this roster around and giving up a bunch of assets, I'm going bigger than Kyle Lowry. And I don't even feel like right now we need to go big splash. It's one of the first weeks where I said, okay, I'm good. Because as we were talking about when Joel got hurt, and we said literally on the air that night, okay, if they show a presence, if they show that they're not going to absolutely collapse without Joe and without Ben sometimes, without Seth Curry, then okay, then I would rely on the side of just tweaking the roster a little bit, adding some options as far as bench help and going from there. But to me, given what the Raptors want for Kyle Lowry, I'm not doing it. I'm good. If I'm giving up all those assets, I'm going after somebody who's not 34. I'm going after somebody who's 27 with 3 years of control, not 34 with 3 months of control. And to Tom's point, I don't care about the 2-year extension. Oh, a sign and trade. That does nothing for me. Having Kyle Lowry on this team for 3 months does nothing for me at 34. I don't need him when he's 36, when I already am going to have Joel Embiid making top money, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris. I'm good. I'm good. Daryl Morey has plenty of other options via trade, whether it's a little bit smaller or a little bit smart. So to me, Kyle Lowry, really good player. He's going to get traded. It looks like probably if it's not us, it's going to be Miami. So he's going to make Miami better. Or wherever he lands, he's going to make them better. So whoever gets him, great. Hopefully the Raptors didn't rob you. But to me, given what this team has showed with Joel and what this team has shown without Joel and Ben and Seth, I'm good. I'm really good. There's other options here. And like I've said before, if you're going splash, Lowry isn't the splash to me. You're going to have to give up tremendous assets to get Lowry. If you're going that route, go big. Go years of control. And that's not what you're getting with anybody from Toronto right now.
No, you're not getting that from anyone in Toronto. Ethan, I agree with you. He's overrated at this point of his career. John says, no disrespect to Danny Green, but you understand on Kyle Lowry. Stop looking at his age 35. Lowry makes everyone on the floor better. Okay. I'm not saying that, but how much you got to give up to be able to make it happen? That's the question mark.
Are you giving up 2 first-rounders, Maxey Thybulle, and Danny Green? I'm not.
Yeah, I don't even care about the first-rounders, but I'm not doing it. it's so much to give up for a guy that's only going to get older. When you're talking about giving up 2 young players and then you're going to give up assets on top of that, like I don't know. I mean, that's like a nervous move to me. Does like Kyle Lowry make us better than the Nets? Like we already are better than the Nets, in my opinion. Like we already are.
The standings say so.
We already are. It's like every time you got to stop this guy. Okay, they got to stop Joel Embiid. So as far as I know, they can't do that. And I'm not saying they're not damn good, but you shouldn't have to see the Nets until the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
If things go as planned, you're a 1 or 2 seed. No, I don't know the need for Lowry either. I think there's other guys you can get that can make you better and not have to give up nearly as much, and are 5, 6, 7, 8 years younger. I mean, I don't know. Steven says Tyrese Maxey in a first and Mike Scott and Danny Green are not top tier assets. Well,
Mike Scott's not. Danny Green, you're changing up your starting 5. And again, we're in the situation and I think people are getting misconstruing, especially what Tom's saying and what I'm saying. We're not saying Danny Green is this untouchable superstar, but given what he brings to us and the role he fills, like I was talking to Tom about this beforehand. I swear to God, the people who hate Danny Green are the same people who love JJ Redick. And no disrespect to JJ Redick. I appreciate what he did. I don't know what he did for us. I mean, he was an okay player for us, a good player for us. But everyone that says, oh, I'd rather have JJ Redick than Danny Green. Well, as we've said numerous times, I'll continue to say it. When JJ Redick's not hitting key shots for you, he brings nothing else to the table. When Danny Green's not hitting shots for you, which he has been as of late, by the way, and if he didn't do that last night, you're not winning that basketball game last night. He brings you a ton of steals, a ton of leadership, a ton of defensive capabilities, a ton of playmaking abilities. So it's not like Danny Green is just one-trick pony. Is he frustrating sometimes? Yeah, of course. He's not a superstar type player. He's a role player. Name me a role player that gets the amount of minutes that Danny Green is getting and isn't frustrating sometimes. That's why he's a role player. He's not a perfect player. That's what you get. He's not going to be a Joel Embiid type to where, oh my God, he's great at everything.
I mean, if I was going to come in and drop 30 a game, people think. Like, you know what I mean? That's like people's like thought process. Like, oh, we're better than the Nets now. We're better than the Nets. I don't know. It depends what I have to give up, too. He said, do you think Ben Simmons truly is, in the words of DJ Eastwood, a big, fast passer guy?
He can be. That's like a safe space.
Yeah. I mean, again, he at least shot the ball. I'm like, everybody hated Ben last night. Ben wasn't like my main issue. I mean, he really wasn't. The bias is the reason that game was closer than it should have been.
Ben shot the ball a ton last night. Just nothing went in.
But until he gets it, once he gets that, decides that, hey, I'll have a 12-foot jumper, then he'll be able to get to the rim more. But he also gets no calls going to the basket, which is crazy because he's big and he goes up strong. So for the most part, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried about Ben right now. You know what I mean? Some worries, but that's not it.
Don, I don't want to speak for Tom, but I think we would both say Seth we would rather give up.
Yeah.
I don't think we're trying to trade either of them, though.
Yeah, it's all about who. Everything's about who.
And again, like somebody was saying earlier, like, oh, it's just all you guys would have to do is give up Maxey and Sue first for Kyle Lowry. Again, this goes back to what we were talking about, 30 seconds before the showtime? You have to match money. Like, I feel like people miss that. This isn't the NFL. Like, you have to match contracts.
Yeah, nobody gets that. I feel
it's like, oh, just give him Furkan Korkmaz and 3 firsts. Like, okay, try that, please. Okay, yeah, Furkan and 3 firsts because that makes sense.
Malik, what's up? Robert, what's up? Yeah, it does slow down double teams on Embiid because people have to at least respect him from 3. Robert, that's a name. I mean, it's a name.
He'll be coming up. He's on the list.
It's a name I would add. But it's crazy because you're just winning. So you're like, what do you want? And then if Daryl Morey's sitting there, what's he thinking? Because they keep winning games and people are picking up the phone and calling. or he's picking up the phone and calling other people, and they just keep winning games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, what do you do? What do you do? Colin. I mean, yeah, of course, Bradley Beal's a great addition to any team, but you don't have enough to get Bradley Beal.
He's not getting traded. The earliest he'd be getting traded, unless something crazy happens in the next 48 hours, he's not getting traded until the offseason, if at all. It would have been a Harden thing.
No, I don't think he's going anywhere.
No.
Not right now.
Unless he wants to be like friggin' the Aaron Gordon, the audacity. Did you hear the Aaron Gordon thing? He's like, oh, I want to be traded, but only to a winner. It's like, who the hell are you?
Yeah,
Aaron Gordon.
What everybody takes their ball. Everybody takes their ball and goes home.
It's like, oh, I don't want to be here, but I also don't want to go somewhere unless I can win a championship. It's like, okay, so what do you want? Okay, hon, it's fine.
Robert says, Tom, I agree with you, but I think our window is short because Joel Embiid is in his prime, and big men don't last long. They're horrible knees. So I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Robert, I mean, you think his prime's ending this year? You think it's going to be a 1-year prime? I mean, I would say it's probably going to be in at least another couple of years. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to say, hey, we have a 7-year window, I would agree with you. But I think we have a 2 to 3 year window right now. If he stays healthy, obviously.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit longer than that personally. But yeah, I don't think it's tomorrow, and I don't think it's 10 years. But to say a good 5, that window's closed before 5 years, that's tough for me to believe when he's 26, 27. He just turned 27. I mean, it's tough for me to believe that window's closed that quick.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you want to say just 4 years, okay, that window's there.
This is the first year where he's figured it all out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some people think like, oh, he's been an MVP candidate for years. Like, no, like we've always talked about the potential of him, but this is the first year where he's actually put it all together.
Yeah. Jersey boy. You're right. This is what I'm saying. Morey needs to be careful. Hopefully he doesn't mess with the chemistry. Doc has these guys balling out, and guys are buying in and all that. And that's why I just don't think I'm really hesitant on making deals right now, guys. I truly am.
I'm still scarred from a couple years ago when we traded the farm. We overhauled the entire roster to get Tobias and Jimmy here. Like I know the conversations we were having after that postseason was over, and we were like, well, damn, we're kind of stuck right now. And I understand. I don't want to say the word stuck, because even if we got Lowry, we wouldn't be stuck because we'd still have Tobias and Joe and Ben. So we would still have the core. But I think to Tom's point, given the chemistry right now, and when we kind of went, okay, let's trade 5 guys for 1 and 3 guys for 2 and all that stuff. Like, no, I'm good. You have a core right now. You have a winning starting 5 that got you exactly where you're at, which is first in the East, with a ton of injuries and health issues. Like, we have to remember, guys, like, we missed a lot of games with at least 1 or 2 of our starters, and we're still the number 1 seed. Now, that's not to say that, the Nets have been doing their thing without Durant for a big chunk. So I'm not saying we're the only team in the NBA or the East that's, had this type of scenario. But it's not broken right now, guys. Like I said, if you want to adjust, if you want to upgrade the backup point guard position, great. We have options for you coming up. If you want to upgrade the backup power forward position, if you want to add another center, another wing, that's cool. That we have no issue with that. But to be like, oh, we're gonna upgrade Danny Green's position and Seth's position, and then we're gonna get 2. I don't think that's in the cards right now. It's unnecessary.
No, it's not, John. I trust in Daryl Morey. I mean, if you get Lowry, would you be upset? I mean, upset? I'm not gonna be upset. I'm gonna watch Sixers next time out, right? I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna hope that they don't miss a beat, right? And he's productive, and they win it all. But then I'm in win now mode, and I'm in win now mode right now in a way, right? But I was more like, okay, hey, before the season started, Eastern Conference Finals, and we'll go from there. Well, now we're talking about, okay, we want to win it all. All right, I always want to win it all, right? But is that enough then? Is that enough? How are they going to play together? How's it going to work? Less practices, right? All them things sort of factor in. It's a weird year too. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna be mad. No, I mean it is what it is. I would say, okay, they know their basketball team. And if they don't make a move, my question to everybody out there is, are you all going to be mad? Because this is all I've heard about is deal this guy, deal that guy, deal that guy, deal a third, deal a fourth, deal anything you can find. Lifting up mattresses to find deals to send people. I mean, it got too much. It got too much. And all we've done through this entire time is win basketball games. That's all we've done. Through all the trade talk and all the 2K, we put trades on easy. We put trades on hard. We put trades on medium. We've had a little bit of everywhere. Apparently, the asking price for Evan Fournier is expiring contracts and 2 second-round picks. Would you guys do that?
In 2 seconds. I would do that and get it done. Get it done.
Yeah, I like Evan.
If that's all it takes, friggin' Mike Scott and another guy and 2 second-rounders, I got to see what he's making, but that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I forget what he's making.
I think he's making the teens. Let me see.
They're just looking to get rid of contracts, and for sure.
And again, to Tom's point, like I said at the very opening of the show, like I'm good. Like I really don't need or want Kyle Lowry here. But I've been saying, as Tom has, a lot of us have been saying, like, this is the most trust I've had in an organization in Philly since the Super Bowl year. Like, it's basically, okay, they make a move. Okay, even if I don't understand it, I'm like, okay, I trust you. So I have my full trust in Daryl and Doc, and it's both of them because, as we've heard all throughout the season, Doc and Daryl are in constant communication. So it's not like other situations and organizations in this city with other teams. It's not like the GM or the owner is going rogue. It's constant communication. Doc is saying yes or no to any trade that is, up in the air or is a chance. So I trust all of them. So if they went and got Lowry, I go into a situation like Tom is saying to where, okay, well, I wasn't expecting to have to go to the title or win a title, but now I'm like, okay, well, we're doing this now. All right, well, let's lock all windows and doors. Let's brace for impact because we're doing this now.
Now you have no excuses to not win a title.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Now you gave up everything to win it this year.
Yep.
Like people will tell me it's after this year. I don't know what Kyle Lowry is going to be at 36, 37, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, then your windows now to win it with that group. So I mean, there's other guys you can get that can score and give you production that's not 35 years old. There's other guys, right? And that's what I don't think people understand. Jamar, yeah, I mean, appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks for the donation.
4-win, Sixers second round exit. Yeah, Sixers not going to be second round exit, but the Eagles winning 4 games, you might be generous. So
I agree. I agree with half of your statement, Jamar. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I agree, Brinks. Everybody in the division got better besides us.
Daryl's waiting. He is on the last year. Evan Fournier is on the final year of a 5-year, $85 million contract. So he's making $17 million this year. Then he's a free agent next year. So we would only have this year of control with him. So that would be, if I'm doing mental math here, that would be Mike Scott. That would be Ferguson. That'd be Tony Bradley and probably like 2 second rounders. You might have to throw one other contract in there. That would get you. I think that would get you to within that percentage, though. So if you're giving up Tony Bradley, Scott, and Ferguson in 2 seconds, I mean that's cheap as hell.
Yeah.
And then I know what people were saying. Oh, who's gonna play backup center while Joel's out? Just make a phone call to DeMarcus Cousins. He's chilling. Even if you bring him in for a freaking 10-day until Joe's back and then cut him. You know what I'm saying? Bring him in until Joe comes back and be like, oh, have fun.
There's probably guys out there they could do that with, too. That they would.
There's Dwayne Dedman sitting at home, and I still think Dwayne Dedman can play in this league. So,
I'll tell you, Tom, when are they going to give Paul Reed some playing time? I mean,
B-ball Paul.
Here we go, Ray. You're going to do this now. Okay,
G League. Out of the mud. G League champion, MVP. He's the new Boston Scott, Tom. Here he is.
I don't know, Ray.
Dropping 30. Secret weapon.
Is that a good answer? I don't know. I got nothing for you. I don't know. Is he going to drop? Is Paul Reed dropping 20 in the NBA? I don't think so.
Screw Bielitsa. You got B-ball Paul.
But at least Paul Reed can move faster than Bielitsa.
Listen, Bielitsa looked bad, man. He went a little run. At the end, but he looks about 20 pounds overweight.
Right at the end, they were down 30 at half at the end.
Poor Sacramento. They were shopping him, too. They haven't played him in a month. They're shopping him. Be like, here, Daryl. Here's Bielitsa. Be like, even I'm like a fanboy. I'm like, damn, that's Bielitsa.
You look like he ate a fucking car.
Still better than Mike Scott, though.
Robert said,
"Oh, here we go.
He's actually nice." I'm never saying the guy never can play in the league, but there's a reason he's in the G League.
He's also like skinnier than me. Like he's got to gain like 20 pounds for God's sakes.
Like, come on, this is a different game. The NBA game it's the best of the best, right? It really truly is. The G League is like, overseas is better per se. You can get better competition overseas than in the G League, in my opinion, for the most part. Sometimes.
Paul Reed. I love him too. Like, listen, I wanted him in the draft, so I like Paul Reed. But
I like the pick. I just not.
I didn't expect to see him for like 2 years, and now like Daryl's talking about like, oh, we could see him. It's like, oh, yeah, in garbage time, Daryl. Unless I see him on your Twitter or in garbage time, I'm good. Okay.
I'm not worried about seeing Paul Reed develop a young player. It's good to do. That's a good thing, guys. Like, I'm not mad at it. Like, develop guys in the G League, get them better, good coaching. Like, I'm all for all that, right? And then maybe the guy, because he's young, maybe he can be an impact on your roster next year. Hopefully, okay. Like, yes. Absolutely. Like this year, I don't see it. Yeah, and he's got to be able to shoot, Rob. He can't shoot.
I feel like, and again, we're not taking shots at Paul Reed or the people who brought up Paul Reed, but like, I feel like some people in this city, if I brought up a trade scenario and I put Paul Reed in the deal, they'd be like, no deal. We're not giving up Paul Reed. No. I'll give up Thibault, but no, not Paul Reed.
Yeah, now people would say no. Everybody would say no.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no, Tom. He was 40% from three.
Oh, God. And now he's fucking Curry.
Yep.
It's Seth Curry now. Paul Reed. Paul Curry. Goodness great.
B-ball Curry. You want to get into some deal or no deal, Tom?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, fam. So if you've been watching the show or watching the platform, I should say, because not only just this show.
Watching the fucking show or the platform. My goodness gracious. Ryan tried to tell me he had an idea, like it was a new idea to give me trades for the 10,000th time.
Hey, I didn't call it deal or no deal in the past, though. This has a tagline.
Because he named it, that it was like this new idea for me. And
I was going to make a graphic and everything, but I ran out of time. I was going to have like a sounder, like some wheels. I was going to have like a light show, but I didn't have time.
And nothing from any other nothing out from any other trade scenarios, but we're gonna run through some. All right, and I'm Daryl Morey, and the family at home, you guys can help me.
You're the board. You're Daryl's board of the directors.
I'll consider your votes.
Yes. So I have 7. I went deep into the trade machine last night, and these are my final options because obviously the trade deadline is Thursday. So these are my last resort to get Tom onto the pirate ship with me, riding into the trade deadline. Okay, and I told Tom if I can get him to agree with at least 3 of these, I'm taking it as a solid moral victory. My first one. Well, I'll start with one I think you would like, and it would be a deal with the New Orleans Pelicans. We would send Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, Vincent Poirier, Tyrese Maxey, this year's first rounder, and a 2023 second rounder to the Pelicans for Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, I'll do that deal.
Yes, here we go. We're on the board. I feel like people won't do that though, because I think they don't think like Lonzo can shoot. But I know he can. He's like shooting close to 40% from three.
Not giving up anything for him.
No, you're giving up Mike Scott, who wouldn't play. Terrence never plays. Poirier's like the worst player in the league. Maxi's your value, and then 2 picks. What you got, Colin? What was your last comment?
Type it again in so I can say it.
Oh, was it an Eagles comment, Colin? You think Jackson? We'll read that once we jump into Eagles, Colin. Retype that in a little bit. No deal, big play Slay. Well, he says deal, then he says no deal. No deal. Why? What are you giving up?
No, like would they make it? I think he might be saying.
Oh, do you think they would do it?
I don't know.
Because their biggest issue is depth, right? So they're getting, a young player, obviously.
They're not getting that. They're getting shit.
And Maxi.
Who may be good, maybe shit. We don't know.
Would you add another first in there? Like, how far are you willing to go negotiation-wise to get this?
You already have 1 first in there?
Yep. This year's first and a 2023 second.
Is Hart's contract up?
They're both expiring. They're both expiring deals. That's why I think they would do it. And especially compared to what the Bulls offered them, they offered freaking Satoransky and like 2 second-round picks. Disgraceful.
Can I bring both back? Can I afford to?
I mean, you could bring Josh Hart back for cheap. I don't know. The Lonzo thing would be odd because he's playing probably the best year. He's having the best season of his career, arguably.
If I wanted to pay him, could I pay him? That's my biggest question mark. And if I want, that's all I need to know if I make that deal.
What is John saying? I own a Vincent Poirier Sixers jersey only because I'm close friends with UFC fighter Dustin Poirier. Hey, there you go. Like your style. Let me see here. All right, so my next one, you are going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. You're giving up, and they're just trying to get picks right now. You're giving up Mike Scott, Furkan Korkmaz, Tony Bradley, a 2022 first-round pick, and a 2021 second-round pick. So 2 picks, 3 players for George Hill and Lucas Dort. I'm a big fan of Lucas Dort.
What is it again?
It is Mike Scott, Furkan, and Tony Bradley with this year's second-round pick and next year's first-round pick for Dort and Hill. Oh, pause. Hold on.
No.
Breaking. Adoree Jackson going to the Giants.
Huh. 4th in the East, baby. 4th in the East. Yeah, I'll make it. I'll do that deal.
Okay. The next one, you go down to Orlando. You send Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, Vincent Poirier, and Tyrese Maxey with a 2021 first-round pick for Terrence Ross, and I just threw this guy in here because of salary, Dwayne Bacon. He's making like $2 million. I had enough salary to where I can get 2 players. So it'd be Scott, Ferguson, Poirier, and Maxey with this year's first for Ross and Bacon.
Not that I care about the pick, but we gotta give him a first in that too.
Yeah, just because it's kind of the same thing. Like, really, like, what are you giving them? Like, Mike Scott is a 0. Ferguson, like these three are expiring contracts. You're basically given. So it's like, would they get rid of Ross, who I believe has like 2-3 years of control, for Maxey? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm getting him out of money. I'm clearing money for him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what I'd be doing in a deal like that.
Yep.
As a clear money deal for them. But I'll do it. I don't know if they would, but I would.
3 for 3. Here we go. Smaller move. This one I actually think is going to happen. If nothing else happens crazy wise. You're going to the Pistons, so Don, you're up here. You're giving up Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, and this year's second-round pick for DeLon Wright.
Yeah. Done.
Backup point guard. Solid move. You're not giving up anything. You're just giving up a pick and 2 expiring deals. Then you go to Cleveland. You've got Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, Poirier, and 2 second-round picks for Larry Nance Jr.
What was the other one again? Poirier, who else?
Poirier, Ferguson, and Scott. It's always going to be those 3. So you're giving up 3 no-name guys and 2 picks for Nance.
Yeah, I don't know why the picks. I'm just getting them out of money. Not that the picks really matter, especially seconds. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not a big Larry Nance guy, but I'll take him because he's better.
I feel. Do you guys agree? I think he would really help us against Brooklyn if we face them, defensive wise. You know what I'm saying? And also, he can score a little bit. It's not like he's a non-scorer.
I mean, again, you're not giving up anything, so.
Don says, Ryan, can you all throw Paul Reed in that deal for DeLon? No, he's untouchable. Don, sorry. Then you go. So this is the splash move. This is my splash move. You're going to Sacramento, and you're giving up Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, Vincent Poirier, Tyrese Maxey, this year's first, and a 2023 second rounder for Buddy Hield and Kyle Guy. I'm not doing that, but I that was my splash move for all the trade Danny Green people.
I'm not doing that.
Nope. And the final one, same team, Mike Scott, Terrence Ferguson, and next year's first for Bielitsa and Kyle Guy.
This year's first and next year's first?
No. Just next year's first. So next year's first, Ferguson and Scott.
Sure.
There we go.
It's just, none of these are crazy moves.
No, they're all moves. All those moves, you don't have to make a splash, but you're instantly better.
No, you really are.
What is this? You guys still can't beat the Raptors with trades? What are you talking about? The Raptors. They've lost 10 of 11. I'm a fun guy.
No, I don't know either. Philly boy can't cover a parked car, so that's been more and more obvious. Giants are, Bill. They're getting all the right pieces. Joey Jackson's a good signing for him. Kenny Galladay's a good signing for him. I'm not going to call any of these signings great. These are very good signings, though. Very good signings for the Giants. But the Giants' biggest question mark will continue to be, can their quarterback play? Right? So, we're going to have to find out if our quarterback can play. They got to find out if theirs can play. So, Adoree Jackson, a good move, obviously, for the Giants, but it's all going to come down on who Mr. Dimes is. Because if he can't play, that team's going to stink. Not stink, but they're not going to be as great as all these moves seem to be. It's really going to depend on him.
What do you think we do now at cornerback? Because they were trying, we were in the market for Fuller, and he was taken in 2 seconds. He's now on the Broncos. And then they went after Adoree', and obviously he's off the table. I'm not sure if he signed, fam. So, he could have been signed already, but do you think they take a look at Boye?
I don't know what they're going to do anymore. They're going to take a look at guys that are really cheap. They can bring in like the 1-year deal type thing. They probably already feel like they strengthened their defense tremendously, probably in Howie's eyes, just off of Anthony Harris, which is a good signing. Don't get me wrong. Very good signing. But you still don't have another outside corner. So that's either going to be a rookie in the draft, and if that's in the first, second, or third, I'm sure they're going to draft a corner and run him out there to play. You know what I mean? So I would assume that would happen if they don't go out and get a veteran, and they still might go out and get a veteran. Who the freak knows?
John, I think I'm checking now. I think Wayne Ellington only makes like $2 million. So that's why I didn't put him in a trade scenario, because you'd just be giving up one player and a pick. That's such a small move as far as moving pieces.
Yeah.
But another name that I would gladly take if nothing else happens.
Oh, there's a lot of names that I'll just take. There's a lot of names. I'm like, yeah, why not? Frank, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Frank.
Super chat. He goes, as much as chemistry is great, I think if Morey doesn't make a big trade, our locker room chemistry would be better than it already is, in my opinion. I agree with that, Frank. That's actually even a better point, because you're not moving anybody. You're not trading anybody. Listen in. If you're first time listening in here to HUD Radio, please pound that like button. Please pound that subscribe button. On the road to 5K over on YouTube. So pound it. Help us get there. And let's go. We're at 40 right now, 100 plus people watching. Get us over 100 likes on this goddamn show as well. Why is Ben Simmons going to be traded? But I agree with that. That's the most important thing. Like, chemistry is overlooked. And then if you don't make a trade and you tell these guys, like, hey, we believe in this group, does that make them even play better basketball? Or is it just the same? Like, do we have holes? Everybody has holes. The Nets have holes. Okay? Nobody wants to talk about their holes. They can't stop anybody. They can score a ton. Nobody's going to ever question that. But can they stop anybody? And if you set your team up to try to beat the Nets, you're going to lose to somebody else. Okay? Right? You don't set it up, I got to worry about the Nets. No, you set it up to be first in the East, make sure they're second, or vice versa, all right, and don't see them in the Eastern Conference Finals. Because you got to get there before you can talk about the Nets. That's my big thing. Like, I can't set my team up trying to beat them. I got to set up my team to be exactly what they are. Have a goddamn identity, right? And right now we play great defense. What up, Yusuf?
What's up, Yusuf?
Ryan, are you going to say Fitzmagic twice a year with an explosive offense? As well as, oh my God, you're going to do this explosive offense. Come on.
Listen, I'm a McLaurin fanboy, but that's not explosive. Stop it.
28 picks. And then you're going to be coming on going, what am I supposed to do? Yeah.
We should have drafted a quarterback.
Yep.
Whispering in my friggin' ear, Yusuf. Who's the other kid they have? The kid that me, you, and Wilson like? Kid who played well against Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, I forget his freaking name. That's how relevant he is. But yeah, he can ball a little bit.
McCanny or something. I don't even know his freaking name.
But no, listen. You're right. You got players too, but I'm not worried about anybody because I expect to win 2 games. So I don't give a shit.
Curtis Samuel.
Heineke. Who's not making the playoffs? So Washington, Wayne? Yeah. Here, calm down. They ain't making the playoffs this year. Dallas is better than you.
Oh, my God. Did you just McKissick me?
And I can make the case. I can make the case that Dallas is better than you. I can make the case that Giants is better than you. And I can maybe even make the case, see how it plays out, that we might be better than you guys too.
Yusuf, listen, we stink, okay? So we have no room to talk. But did you just Cam Sims and McKissick us? McKissick? Yusuf.
Get hurt yet? I feel like you just got there. He get hurt. Yusuf, you got holes too, baby. You got holes. Yo, pound that like button over on YouTube. What are we doing over there? Hit the subscribe. Come on. I got to see y'all scream at you guys. Talking Sixers, talking Eagles. Chime in your comments. Yes, I saw the 1,000 comments of Kyle Pitts running a 4.46. Whoop-de-doo. Shirts and a T-shirt. The question is, can a guy stay healthy? And I don't know. I don't know that answer. And I don't know if I would take him at 6. You know, I mean, if I trade it back again, I'm sure. But the 4.46 is going to make him jump boards even more.
I was gonna say.
And that's what I don't like. So, like, I almost might steer clear. Steer clear talk, then just give me Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith then. You know, if we have to go offense, according to Jeff McLane, that the Eagles said. Like, thanks for giving me a breakdown. It's going to be a quarterback. It's going to be a wide receiver, maybe a running back. It's not going to be a running back, but you know what I mean? Like, if it's not a quarterback, it's probably going to be a wide receiver or tight end. Well, why don't you just say, if it's not a quarterback, it's going to be another position. And if you draft a quarterback, people are going to get arrested here. And that's me. Fucking joke. We're drafting another quarterback. We're not going to let this kid play. We're not going to, like, try to build a team around the guy that you guys went out and got. Or you went out and got.
I understand, Yusuf. I hear you. I know. I understand why you brought up those players. I'm sorry. I saw McKissick and I got triggered. I thought you were trying to say, like, oh, these are the reasons why we're making the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't care what Pro Football Focus puts out, but I hear you. Listen, you guys are a good football team. You three teams are good football teams. Okay, we're a dumpster fire. You guys are 3 good teams. Okay, but the best quarterback isn't in Washington and isn't in New York, and nobody wants to hear that. The best quarterback resides in Dallas right now, as far as we know. He resides in Dallas. Okay, so I think they're the team to beat in the NFC East. I don't think it's the Giants. I don't think it's the Washington. I think it is right now Dallas. All right, and we'll go from there. All right, because the Giants can't be the team to beat when they don't have a quarterback, in my opinion, yet.
Tom and the fam at home, of the guys who were on Raw, because knowing this friggin' division, it could change in a month. Rank the 4 quarterbacks in this division, 1 through 4.
1 through 4, like, I can make the case that Hurts is 2.
Oh, good.
I can make the case that Hurts is 2. I mean, I don't know what Daniel Jones is. All right, I got more confidence in Jalen Hurts. I feel like that guy do Daniel Jones. I've seen enough of Daniel Jones. Right, Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to throw 25 picks at the start. I love Fitz magic.
He's going to have 5 great games, and the rest of the game is going to be like, oh my god, why is he here?
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason. And then I'm not putting my team down. I'm just telling you what my expectations are, which this year is not being good. But could we? The NFL is tricky. Sure, anything can happen. Right? Sure, anything can happen. This division, you can't say is as much up for grabs. But if Hurts can play, we're going to be better.
Look at Don.
Oh my God.
Dak Jones, Heineke, Hurts. Listen, you're about to go to war with the people in the chat, Don.
You're all telling me okay. I'm not telling you guys. You're going to play. Of course, you're going to put Fitzmagic too. And now I'm getting called crazy because I put Hurts too. Over what?
Swear, Tom, I thought you were the Hurts hater. Now you're the lover of him. You can't have it either way. Now you love him too much.
There's a bunch of quarterbacks in the division that are just right? Fitzpatrick's the reason he's a freaking journeyman. I can't believe people are crowning this. Oh my goodness. Hurts is probably better than him at this point.
He is better than him. He is. I'm not saying he's a lot better, but he's better.
I like Fitzmagic. And maybe, because he's a veteran, he's better. Sure. He's thrown touchdowns. He's shown flashes of big plays, but he's also
How many teams has he been on, Tom?
1 million.
So, come on. How many times has he been cut or traded?
Too many.
Exactly. Of course it's Yusuf's fault, Don. Got us talk ranking freaking Fitzmagic. Exactly, Colin. If Fitzmagic was so good, why can't he stay on one team? Yes. Oh, what is this? Hi, Bill. Mark my words. If Foles comes back, Hurts plays the year, and we drop all the way back to 15 with the Pats and get a haul back for it. I hope. Listen, Bill. Oh, I'll ask you. You bring up an interesting point, Bill. Fam at home and Tom, I'll ask you. If one of these scenarios was happening, which one would you rather have? Either we bring back Foles or we draft a quarterback. I would rather bring back Foles than draft one.
Yeah. I mean, I just think
I'm not happy with either of them.
think it's stupid, but I mean, whatever. Like I said, I don't care about the backup quarterback because Jalen Hurts needs to play 17 games. So I can see what I have. So I can care less who the goddamn backup is. If it's Foles, fine. I mean, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him play. I know what Nick Foles can do. James just got traded. Oh, okay, the guy's talking nonsense. No, I wouldn't want Kyrie on the Sixers. Stop it.
You think I'm crazy with trade scenarios? My God. Mr. Cole, I think Tom and I are on the same thing with Flacco. It's like, okay, hopefully we never see him on the field.
Yeah, I don't care about it. I mean, supposedly we're going to get Dory Jackson and Flacco in here today, and Dory doesn't even get here. So, like I said, we would probably end up with one of the two, and that would be Flacco. So, whoop-de-doo, another irrelevant signing, and maybe that tells you they won't draft one unless they're planning on moving on from Hurts, which I guess wouldn't be crazy either.
And yeah, Bobby, I mean, they were going to have to overpay for him. They clearly overpaid for him because he canceled the meeting. He didn't even listen to what we had to say.
That's too much money for him, too.
No. And he's not I feel like people are kind of getting baited a little bit with like the name. Like Adoree Jackson would have been a solid player to have.
Kenny Golladay, Kenny Golladay got paid a lot of money too, and I like Kenny Golladay, I really do. I'm not paying him or Adoree Jackson that kind of money.
No.
They're like my guys. Like I'm my guy. It's a lot of money.
Malcolm
a lot of money.
Ray.
I don't know if he's still out there. Malcolm Butler.
It's an interesting name. I gotta, fam. I honestly, could somebody see? I mean, I could check in 5 seconds. I think AJ Bouye is interesting. If he's out there, he could have been signed already.
He's old. It's a total Band-Aid, right? So
absolutely. If I know today that they're not taking, Sartain, for example, like, okay, then I'd feel comfortable having Bouye in here for a year. And then having, like, let's say, maybe a kid in the second that you can eventually end up be that guy along with Slay.
I don't want that then. I don't want a Band-Aid because I want to just draft the guy and then put him in right away. Right away. Boom. Go on the fire because I don't expect to win games. So if I do, great. Sure. If I don't, great. If a kid gets better and I win games, good. If kid plays good and I lose games, who cares? You get your feet wet. So, to me, that's why I don't want that Band-Aid there. I'd rather have like a Dory Jackson for 2-3 years than Band-Aided it for a year because I already Band-Aided my safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can go back to safety, at some point. I think Kevin King signed. I thought he did not.
And Colin Bouye is a free agent, so he's still out there. Malcolm Butler. Let's see where he's at.
Oh, yeah, John Lynch. You're 100% right. Gettleman's on the hot seat, and he's overpaying for guys. Rudolph, Golladay, Jackson. I mean, listen, they're good moves. Nobody's going to run from that. Like, I'm not an idiot. I watch a lot of football. They're good moves, but Giants fans act like they're going to Super Bowl. I mean, calm the fuck down. I thought we were delusional. I mean, right back at you, delusional city. Jeez. My home, they're good moves. You don't have a quarterback. I mean, legitimately don't have a quarterback. And you can't keep telling me he's young. A, B, C, and D.
He makes way too many mistakes. He makes way too many mistakes.
Playing a lot of football games. Playing a lot of football games at this point.
I mean, he reminds me of like Jameis Winston, but like not the ceiling Jameis. Like all the mistakes of Winston, but like not the 30 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like a ton of interception, a ton of fumbles, but just 18 touchdowns.
Yeah. Colin, okay. Kevin King is still a free agent. Okay. I like Kevin King. I mean, it's another Band-Aid. But again, I don't want a Band-Aid there. I'd rather go just draft the corner and let him play day one. Right? King's a corner, right? I'm thinking the other guy's a safety. Ertz and one of the second-round picks for Stephon Gilmore. Absolutely. Bye.
I don't see them doing that just because the
right end.
They have two. They have friggin' two.
Got two of them. They paid a lot of money for two of them. So
they just drafted 2 kids last year too. They have 4 guys that they have assets in.
Yeah, they're not taking that deal, but yes, I mean Stephon Gilmore I would take, but why would they want to trade him? They're trying to win. Like they're on the opposite side. They're trying to win. They're not trying to acquire picks, right? Right, you know what I mean? They're not in acquire pick mode.
Don. So let me ask you all: should the Giants trade up and take a? No.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. You want me to be honest with you, Don? Maybe, because he stinks, and I'll stand there on that. I've seen enough. Stinks, and all these Giants fans, Brad will come on here later and puff his chest out. All right, he stinks. Daniel Jones stinks. You can laugh about Jalen Hurts. To me, has a better upside at this point of careers. I have more hope for at the quarterback position than Daniel Jones. He's played and he's been, and everyone's telling me about all these other things. I've watched the guy. But what's a crown? I would crown Daniel Jones.
He got worse. Instead of getting better, he got worse.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, until they got a quarterback, they're under. That's why Dallas, to me, is the best team over the next few years in this division, because they have a quarterback, a known one. So they should be. That's not going to mean they're going to be, right? But every year somebody else wins the division in the NFC East. That's not like, oh, well, it's the time. No, that's literally what happens every year. It's a different team. Washington won it last year. They're not going to win it this year. And I'm not basing it just off of that. They've taken a step back, in my opinion. All right? And just because I thought they overachieved a little bit, even though they only won fucking 8 games. You know what I mean?
To answer Don's question, you know what I do if I'm the Giants? And the chance of this happening is very, very small, obviously. If I'm trying to make a splash move at quarterback this year, I'm trying to complete a deal for Deshaun Watson. If I'm making splash, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to worry about all the extra, but I mean.
Oh, yeah, if all that.
Yeah, but if my guys did their homework and I knew it wasn't going to be suspended, etc., then, I do it. But I don't even feel the pressure to do it because I don't expect to win this year. So if they did it would be like, oh, okay. But right now, I'm intrigued to see Jalen Hurts. I'm intrigued just because I have nothing else to look forward to Eagles-wise. So I want to see if he can play. And if he can't, then guess who I'll be drafted next year? A quarterback, because I'll win 2 to 4 games. If he can play, I probably won't be drafting in the top 3 of the draft. If he can play, okay, then I'll probably be drafting, probably around 15, 16, 17, right? Because we don't expect to be a playoff team. Fair? If he can play. That's the biggest if. But if you draft the quarterback at 6, I never get a chance to see the if. Right? I never get the if.
True.
And I think we wanted to see that out, right, guys? Because nobody's in a win now mode, right? Right? You're not in a win now mode. I know that for a fact. No. I'm not in win right this minute. I mean, I love winning games. Like, if they want to go that route, then go ahead. I mean, they're sort of telling me they don't know which way they're going. So I don't know what they're going to decide to do, but because if you draft the quarterback 6, you got to play him day 1. So then what, Hurts becomes a backup after all this talking?
Yeah, and I can't, listen, I'm definitely not in win now mode right now, but I also don't want people to think that I'm, against them winning games. And I'm also not against, I'm not saying there's a 0% chance, 0% chance that they can win games. Like we've talked about before. We've talked about the formula that they can go by if they're going to, try and be that sneaky team or be way better than we think. But I just don't trust them. You know what I'm saying? I do not trust them at all. I don't trust them to put Band-Aids on things. I don't trust them to be like, oh, we can have a quick turnaround. No.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. Yeah. Spike, this is real right here.
Yes.
You're afraid of Howie. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out from players who have shit on him when they got released, etc. And take it for a grain of salt. Guys maybe being salty, right? Mm-hmm. But where there's a lot of smoke, there's fire. And there's arguments in-house with guys. So, I agree. This destination that Jeffrey Lurie thinks this has become, which it hasn't, should have just showed you what happened up the turnpike. All right? Because the guy didn't even get to your facility, and he signed with your rival. So you are no longer a gold standard. Okay? You're the definition of a shit stain. Okay? You're like a shark. Right? You're like a shark in like a diaper. Right? I went for a diaper because I've seen a lot of sharks in diapers recently. You're like a fucking shark. That's what you are. All right. And until you figure out what direction you're going to go with all the restructures, etc., and you're sort of in well, we want to win, but we don't want to win, but we want to win, but we don't want to win. Fuck you. Okay. Because as fans and loyal ones, we want a direction. We want to come into a season saying, okay, you know what? I've been through enough Eagles football. we know we're going to stink. Okay. All right. I'm good with it. I'm looking for next year's draft. We become nerds all the time. Or say, you know what? I'm going to try to win. And that's fine. If you believe in Jalen Hurts enough, you shouldn't have told me you're rebuilding for 2 to 5 fucking years. You understand that? So that tells me right there they didn't believe in this guy. And now the fact that you drafted him in the second round, it tied into your quarterback issues. It tied into everything else that went wrong with this football team, all because incompetence at the highest level. And then you're going to straight face go draft one again? And now that guy's going to play over that guy? I can't. Jay Lava, nobody knows that yet. All right, Burrow wasn't supposed to be the number 1 pick of that year's draft before that season started, and they lit the goddamn world on fire and won a national championship. So that's irrelevant. I got to see how the quarterbacks play and develop.
That narrative, no, and I'm not directing it to you, Jay Lava. Appreciate the comment, but that storyline and that narrative, which I've heard from a million people over the past month, so it's not just you, of, oh my God, this is our last chance to get a quarterback because the draft class is really good this year. And it might be the most annoying narrative I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, you literally, to Tom's point, no one in the country knew who Joe Burrow was 9 months before he friggin' played. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden he turned into this generational talent. People saying, oh, well, the next guy you can get is Archie Manning. Isn't he in friggin' high school, for God's sakes?
I'm not doing this. I'm not drafting a goddamn quarterback right now. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay? I want a playmaker. All right? You told me you drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round because you thought he could play. You told me he was Russell Wilson. You told me all these things. Well, then you better let him fucking play. That's how that goes. Listen, 90 people watching over on YouTube, only 61 likes, right? 92 now. Come on. Fire the likes up a little bit. Get us over 100 here. Get the Sixers and Eagles family in here. Let's talk about it a little bit. Tim Jones, we'll go back and forth here. Do you think before the All-Star game, what already happened, the All-Star game, that Daryl Morey had a pretty good idea? Oh, who he wanted to trade? Yeah, maybe. And then maybe that shifted a little bit post All-Star, right? Because it could be like a little seesaw talk, right?
Tom's heard me say it a bunch of times. I'll continue to say it until it's no longer, a thing. What is it, 4:00 on Thursday or whatever when the official deadline is? Daryl, the last month, pretty much this entire season, he's been back here. He's been laying in the weeds. He's just been waiting. You know what I'm saying? He's got his little folder. He's got a handful of names. He's got deals that he can make at any time. Wayne Ellington, Bielitsa, DeLon Wright, handful of names he could be just pick out of a hat because they're always going to be available. But he's waiting and doing his due diligence just to make sure something crazy doesn't happen, like X name player requests a trade that is better than Aaron Gordon. You know what I'm saying? He's making sure he waits until the exact proper time to make the move. He's waiting for a splash if it's available to him, and if nothing's available to him, like the Lowry or something big, then you're going to see a DeLon Wright, Wayne Ellington, George Hill type move.
Yep.
So he's been waiting. He keeps talking about bullets. He's been talking about bullets in the chamber ever since he made the Al Horford deal. He didn't want to use all of them before the season. He wanted to have options, and he believes he does have options. So, like I said before, fam, whatever he does, whether it's splash move or no trades or buyout, I'm going to trust him. It's the most trust I've had in an organization since we won the Super Bowl. In any sport in the city.
I have trusted him. I've trusted that he might say status quo, too.
Yeah.
From what we all seen. Steelers fan, if they take Trey Lance, the city will blow up. And then
that's what I'm afraid of.
And then you got to pray to God he can play. You know what I mean? And then what are you doing with Hurts? Like, it's just, you can't do this again. You can't just keep drafting quarterbacks and creating this I got a quarterback room. They're all fucking prima donnas. They all want to play. They all want to win the job. Can't do that.
And the sad thing is, Steelers fan, I actually
any Friday Philly Bowl, any Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like Trey Lance as a prospect. I think he's going to be a really fun player, a really good player, honestly. He's not going to be Trevor Lawrence or anything, so I'm not comparing him to that, but I really like him. But the Eagles screwed themselves here. Like, if they didn't do the Hurts project and all of this with Wentz still blew up in their faces and they had no quarterback on roster, then yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool with Trey Lance in the first round. I'm cool because we don't have a quarterback. But this last 12 months, this entire calendar year, you've devoted to one guy. You've set it up for Jalen Hurts. You can't pull the friggin' parachute now and abort mission from that. So if Jalen Hurts wasn't on this roster, would I be a Trey Lance guy? Yeah, probably. Would I be a Field guy? Yeah, probably. But situationally, I didn't like the move for Hurts last year. Nothing against the kid, but it just didn't make sense because we already had a franchise quarterback. It's just not a move you make. It's not. If you knew, to Tom's point, if you knew today Jalen Hurts sucks, which I know people still try to say, oh, he sucks today or he's great today. No one knows. If we knew exactly who Jalen Hurts was, then yeah, I'll be able to give you a definitive answer if I want a quarterback, but we don't know. You just went through all of that hell with the first quarterback, and now you're trying to replace the guy you replaced the other quarterback with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I like Trey Lance.
Right. He runs around a lot, and he's doing it against nowhere near the speed from Division I college, yet better yet, the NFL. So, I mean,
small sample size too. Only one season.
Yeah, you're going to run around like that at the NFL level? No, but I'll take my chance of Hurts running around like that at the NFL level.
He's like the Jordan. He's like the Jordan Love of this draft, where he's like high potential but an extreme project. To where that's why I'm worried about them taking Lance, because they can look at him like, oh well, it's still going to be Hurts, but Trey Lance, we'll see him in a couple of years. Like no. But that's why I'm worried. It's that they can fit in their narrative that they have the keys. They handed the keys to Hurts this season, but Lance is their long-term option because they value quarterback. That's why I'm worried, because it fits the role of what they've been trying to do and sell us on for the past 12 months.
Yeah, they can't. I mean, there's just too much talent on the board. And Joe, I agree with you. Anybody that knows me knows I've been a big fan of Devontae Smith, and that's who I really wanted before even Sartain. And I don't care what anybody says about his weight. I agree. I mean, the guy survived in the SEC for 4 years, made big catch after big catch, just gets the hell open. Great route runner, gets open. Chad Johnson was 170 pounds coming out of college too, guys. So, once guys get the NFL level, they have the NFL weight room, he's not going to be 170 pounds. So everybody can get that out of their heads, right? So I would have no problem saying, you know what, I'll go get you your teammate then. I'll go get you your former teammate, because at least I know you two have connection. And that dude will get open. And maybe that dude can then make the other guy, Reagor, better, right? And then you can start talking to me about an explosive offense like these guys want to tweet out, right? All these other teams, right? And all these other teams that have made moves in the NFC East, like, you're scared of, like they put out the thing for the Giants, like, depth chart. And I'm like, okay. Like, it's good. I mean, the only guy that scares me is Saquon. So I don't know why you're putting this out. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only guy who scares me.
What did they say? I didn't see it, Tom. Was it just their offense, like all of their playmakers?
Yeah, it was like offense, like quarterback, running back.
Yeah, I mean, the only people I have respect on that roster, as far as like I fear if I see them on a Sunday, it's three guys: Galladay, Saquon. Well, Galladay, Saquon if he's healthy, and Slate. Like Sterling Shepard, like okay, like he kills us, but I'm good. Like I'm not afraid of him by any means. And what's their like Evan Ingram? Is he like I don't even know who their tight end is right
now. Rudolph Ingram. I mean,
Rudolph, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I know Jalen Waddle's another teammate. You can't take Jalen Waddle 6.
No,
that's it.
Take him 15, and then that's fine. I don't take him any higher than 15. 12, maybe.
If he does that, they stick it to Carson, Colin. That's the worst thing of all time.
See,
no, Tim, bouncing back and forth. I do not trade Danny Green. I don't care.
No, I don't do that.
And Kenny's always injured too. Going back to football, I mean, yes, Galladay's injured. Dory Jackson's injured all the time. I mean, they give a lot of money and a lot of guaranteed money to some banged up guys. I mean, how's that work? How's that work for you?
Daniel Jones has been banged up too. Got banged up a lot last year.
Yeah, I'm willing to give Hurts a chance, Lava, for this year, and people know that. Listen, I agree with you. He has the arm's not there enough to go through progressions. He doesn't go through progressions well. He said, "Remember me when he is a flop." Hope I'm wrong, and I agree with that. He's a great character guy and a great kid. That's sort of my opinion on him too. That I don't believe he's a franchise guy, and I agree with that, Kyle, as well. But I'm willing to give him 17 games to prove me wrong, because I'm not drafting a goddamn quarterback. I just drafted one in the second round. Then why did I draft him? I'm going to continue to stay here. What the fuck did I draft Jalen Hurts for if he's not playing 17 games to see if he can play? right? Prove everybody wrong. I mean, guys, we've been proven wrong before. I mean, I watch a lot of sports. We all watch a lot of fucking sports. We've all been proven wrong. So go prove me wrong or not. Simple.
Slipknot. I mean, I'd be annoyed if they. To be honest, my real fear if they don't go quarterback at 6 is that they take Trask, and I like Trask a little bit. So like, I'm not. Again, it would be like a Jalen Hurts situation. Like I don't have a problem with the kid. Especially you're getting the kid. I believe the quarterback's coach worked with Trask, which also worries me on why they might take him. In the second, for example, or third if he gets there. But no, if they take a quarterback anywhere in this draft, I'm going to be annoyed. Yeah, it's just like the levels of annoyance. Like if it's in the higher round picks, that annoyance is going to go to like violent anger or arrests for some people.
I said you could sign free agent once, like free agent draft pick once. Right? That's what you're allowed to do. Tim says, just tune in, guys. You think Adoree Jackson is as ridiculous as I do? The Eagles dodge a bullet. I do. I think that's way too much money.
I think he's overrated.
12 games in 2 years. So that's as simple as that. If you're watching over on YouTube like Tim is, pound that like button. Help us get over 100 likes. Keep them coming tonight. Subscribe if it's your first time here. All right, we get to all the comments. Everybody's part of the conversation. And we have 2 more shows, one right after us and one following them. So bang bang. Sports Hounds Flight Zone coming up right after us. Mike Cross, I believe in Hurts. I believe Hurts is Howie's need to use a draft to build around him by getting ACC and SEC conference impactful day one starters, not projects. Well, I mean, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot for him to switch up his whole mentality of drafting of what schools he goes to. You know what I mean?
Sportsman. Who was Chris Sims' favorite? What was that? Whoa. Oh, he wasn't he the guy who was trying to say Wilson was better than Lawrence?
Yeah.
And he had like Mons as like the third. I don't know. I understand Sims. Like everyone throws that track record out there. Like, oh, he's hitting the pass. Okay, but don't try marketing me Wilson over Trevor Lawrence, please. Like, don't. If you want to have Kellen Mond as a higher guy, or if you want to have Mac Jones as a higher, be my guest. But don't. There's one guy that should be rated number 1 quarterback or prospect in this draft, and it's the kid from Clemson.
It's a guy who's been the number 1 for the last 3 years.
It's the guy who's talked about as the next Andrew Luck as far as prospect 2.5 years ago. Like, he's been the guy in all of college football for like 3 years. And now last minute, Wilson might be better. Stop.
Yeah, Blue said he good signing. See if he can stay healthy for you guys. A lot of money again. Who's your quarterback?
Yeah, you guys are going for it. Your GM needs to go for it because he's on the hot seat. But to Tom's point, your quarterback's also on the hot seat.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, we'll be talking at some point if anything happens, John. So if anything's worthy of it.
Andrew Murphy. Funny thing is, Trevor is probably going to end up being. Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, he's going to like the perfect spot for him, like a former college coach.
Ton of weapons there too. Ton of weapons there.
Why do I give the edge to Smith over Chase? Really, just because I think
that opt out year bothers you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. I can't get away from it. Like, just not playing football for a year worries me. But the big thing is, and I think Smith is just more elusive. And in today's NFL wide receiver, like I almost think I know people talking about great route runner Chase is. I would always thought to me from watching that Smith was one of the best college route runners I've seen. So that's what it does to me. And he's just always open, and not by like a little bit. I mean, a guy finds himself wide open all the time. If it's slants, if it's guys try to bump him, right? He's elusive enough to get off it, right? So all the little things, and the guy just won the goddamn Heisman Trophy
as a receiver. A receiver,
when he catches, I mean, he didn't stop making big play after big play, and he's had big catches there from day one. You know what I mean? So he's been a big catch guy, which I really like, right? A lot of it's substance, like context. Like when are you getting your catches? When are you having them? Right? And it seems like all his come in big plays, big moments. Right? And that's why I like Devontae Smith. And I don't dislike Jamar Chase. You know what I mean? I just think Smith I would take. I like him a little bit better.
Well, and to your point too, Tom, the Smith can do a lot of things different for you. You know what I'm saying? You can match him up in different roles. Not that you couldn't with Chase, but I think to your point, we've talked about this before. It's kind of like with the Eagles' luck, you're getting the guy a year off. It's like, oh my God, that year off. With Howie's luck, it's going to be that year off. Oh my God, it's going to change everything for the kid. You know what I'm saying? And I like the Chase, the fact that he is a bigger bodied. I mean, everyone's bigger bodied compared to Smith. But at the same time, I'm not worried about that because he's not the first guy to come in at 170 pounds. And again, that's not a ceiling. It's not like, oh, he's 170. He can't gain weight.
He just tweeted out today. Chad Johnson said he was 170, coming out of college. And Sportsman Philly says, Tom, you're wrong about Smith. Chase is the best wide receiver. He's stronger, more powerful, and runs great routes. I'm not disagreeing with stronger, more powerful, and he runs great routes. I'm not disagreeing with that. Smith, to me, is my best route runner. That's it. It's not saying the other guys can't run routes and aren't good at it. That's just my opinion. I've been wrong before. All right? I told everybody Justin Jefferson was. Outside of Jerry Jeudy. It was Jeudy, then Jefferson. Stand by that. I'm standing by this one. It's not that Chase is dropping to 5 to me. He's the second best wide receiver in this draft. Nobody's running from that. Smith could drop, John. Let the guys who drop are usually the guys who become studs.
Yeah, watch him drop to New England.
You worry about size? I got to worry about Kyle Pitts standing on the damn football field. You want to put Kyle Pitts in no conversation? I mean, Devontae plays 170 pounds and he plays.
Scotty. I see. That's a Howie mindset. I mean, listen, you can like Bateman. I understand why people like Bateman, but come on. I mean, that's a 20-something guy.
That guy just went off in the best conference in college football. And we're actually having the conversation that there's better wide receivers than him.
Rashad Bateman over freaking Smith. Like if you want to argue Chase,
everything's where guys go too. Okay, like Jefferson went with Kirk Cousins, so that helps getting the football to you, right? All right. My guy Jeudy went with freaking Drew Lock, and then he had a practice squad wide receiver throwing the football one game. So, everything in context on where guys go can help them. But to me, Smith gets open with anybody throwing the damn football. I mean, Smith, Jeudy, Ruggs, all right? You can say Waddle. They're all the reason why Tua went as high as he went.
It's true. Tim says, I'd be happy with Chase, Smith, or Pitts. We just need a dynamic playmaker at sits and then load up on defense and O-line for the rest of the draft. I don't even think O-line. I think you're good O-line. I'm okay O-line.
I'm always looking for depth later. You know what I mean? I'm always looking to get deeper. And they draft offensive linemen well late. So 5th, 6th, 7th round, go ahead. That's when your time to shine is.
True.
Go draft another fucking rugby player. Mike, listen, guys, guys, this is why it's agree to disagree. This is why we're the best. You know what I mean? If you Bates over Smith, that's a joke. I'm not falling for that. And listen, Mike, he can have that opinion. I think he's wrong. And I think people are wrong when they tell me Jamar Chase is better than Devontae Smith. And now, depends where guys go. If Chase goes to Cincinnati and Burrow throwing the football, all right, maybe Chase is number 1 off the board. So maybe Smith at 6 is even better because he's not the first wide receiver off the board. And it's like, oh, okay, watch who's going to be better. And then maybe Chase is better because Burrow's throwing the football. But who knows? Maybe it helps Hurts throw the football, right? Maybe then Jalen Reagor looks better. Maybe then all these other guys look better. Maybe then our whole offense looks better. So I'm just saying, when you got a guy who can get open, flat out get open, we're going to need those type of plays. We're going to need the quick screens. We're going to need the slants, ball out of your hand quick. We got to get Jalen to be able to do that, to be able to have quick decision-making plays and then be able to run around and make plays. And you think Devontae Smith, when things break down, isn't getting wide open? I mean, come on, guys. I watch enough football. Go watch Devontae Smith right now. I think everybody does him a disservice because where he plays. Like, oh, Alabama. That's what he's expected to do. Go watch him play. Just go watch it. Go watch a highlight film of him right now while you're watching us. All right? And then hit the like button right here, too.
I'm starting to get the vibe, too, Tom, that the first receiver taken in this draft is not going to be Chase and it's not going to be Smith. I think it's probably going to be Pitts. I just have that vibe. I can honestly see it to where.
Yeah, but you can't count him. I mean, you really count him as a tight end, though. But I hear
a pass catcher, first pass catcher.
Atlanta could take him.
I think Miami could take him.
Miami could.
I think it would be a mistake. I wouldn't do that.
I definitely could see Atlanta doing it. I could absolutely see Atlanta doing it. It's like I could see Cincinnati not taking Sewell and going Chase.
If they do that, that's reckless. And not
because I see Miami take Devontae Smith.
I agree.
Or they take Sewell, right? Like, I mean, there's so many ways to look at this. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are so many freaking ways to look at this. Does Atlanta go skill possession defense, or do they go? Are they replacing Matt Ryan with a quarterback right now? So what direction are these teams going to go with? We know what Jacksonville's going to do. We don't know what the Jets are even going to do. Are the Jets going to hold on to Darnold, or are they going to move Darnold and draft Kyle Wilson? We don't know that for a fact yet, right? So we don't know anything really besides what Jacksonville's definitely doing, and we know Cincinnati's not taking a quarterback. Okay, outside of that, what do we know? Top 6 or the 5 teams before us. Miami's not going to take a quarterback. So we know Miami and the Bengals are not taking quarterbacks. So right there, and there's 2 connections with Smith and Burrow right there. There's connections to both quarterbacks, which is funny. So and you can see Atlanta could freaking reach and take Pitts up there high. You could have a conversation where, and then you got a tough decision. Does Sewell drop to 6, right? Does some of these quarterbacks drop to 6? That's when they would pull off some of this shit. That's when they would draft the quarterback at 6 because the guy's falling.
I'm fairly confident in 2 things with the Falcons. One, I don't think they're going to take a quarterback because they just did something with Matt Ryan's contract. They backloaded it to where they're still confident. I don't think they're picking there. I'm confident they're not even going to be there.
Well, that's fine too. I didn't think the Packers were drafting a quarterback. So, you know what I mean? Like,
fair. Aaron Rodgers, their quarterback didn't think they were taking a quarterback.
Anytime guys get a little older, I'm always going to say, okay, well, and your team stinks that maybe you go in that direction if you really like guy. I'm just saying the 2 teams that we know, or really 3 teams that we know what they're doing in terms of what they're doing and not doing. We know what Jacksonville's doing. We know Miami's not taking a quarterback. We know Cincy's not taking a quarterback. We know that for a fact. So there's that's the point where that's where a run starts to happen. So if one of them took Chase that early, I'm not saying that's early, but then that's where Smith can fall into your lap.
Hell yeah. Listen, the last month I've been under the assumption that Smith, that's why I really haven't talked about Smith a lot on the shows, because I've been up until the Dolphins. I know Will Fuller's not a big move, but some people think, okay, well, now they're not going to go receiver, in the first round. I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, Smith's probably not going to get here. If Devontae Smith is getting the 6, then I'm cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Carlos, would you be mad if the Eagles trade out of the first? No, I mean, yeah.
Yes, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
AK, what's up, Tom? How's your Monday? It's great, brother. It's great. Hope your Monday's going great as well. What up, Levi?
What's up, Levi?
We'll hit you with it real quick. What do you think the Sixers record on the road trip is going to be? And do you trade
Bielitsa and Larry Marketing?
Sure, whatever. I don't care about the trades right now, but I'll give you the road record.
See how quick I was with that too.
4, 5. So they got 5 more on the road. Give me 4-1 the way the team's playing. Give me 4-1 on this road trip.
I'll also go 4-1. I'll go 4-1.
I don't know which game they're going to lose yet.
Clippers.
Yeah, it's going to be Clippers or Jazz. I just don't. Or Nuggets. Clippers or Nuggets. So whatever. It's going to be one of them. Miami's going to trade down. Bill, they could. Panthers go up and get Fields. Exactly.
They're waiting on the Deshaun Watson thing.
So you could get lucky. And they, you know what I'm saying? And some of these playmakers fall too.
The Panthers are the team to watch, to where they believe that they are one quarterback away. They're going to consider all options, to where if they aren't confident that they can get Deshaun Watson, whether it's the stuff that's happening off the field or the Texans aren't budging, then they're absolutely going to be on the move. If they believe in Fields, if they like Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, if he falls, they're the X factor team that can flip this entire draft upside down.
No,
it's them and the Patriots, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the 49ers, those three teams.
There's always teams that can flip it all upside down, even not for a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Other players as well before in the past. So anybody can be.
To your point, Tom, with the Bengals, I honestly think they can change everything because I think majority of us kind of have them penciled in for Sewell, right? If they take Chase, or if they just take receiver X, right? If they take a receiver, or if they take Slater, who's the other offensive lineman, that also flips everything.
No, it does. It does. I would love for the Eagles to get back up into the first round, Bobby. If it's not Xavier Collins is a good name. Mm-hmm. Najee Harris, I know Steelers fan really wants him. I would love to get back up into the first round for Najee. Mm-hmm. There's things you can do. Xavier Collins is a great one though, because I would love to have a middle linebacker who can move, go sideline to sideline, make big plays. Like you need that. Big part of our reason why our defense was better in 2017 was because we had Nigel, we had Kendricks, right? We had guys who could play out there. They're at least like pro linebackers that everybody wants to forget about. Like Nigel was a very good middle linebacker for when he was here, and we've been missing that. So I'm looking to get out of this draft with two, at least 3 starters and 2 guys that I can believe can be studs. Right, that's what I need. Like I need 2 guys out of this draft that I believe can be studs and play whatever position I drafted for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like go to bed. These guys are going to be here for the next 10. That's what I need. And if that comes in the first and second round, fine. If that's 2 picks in the first round, fine. And over the next 2 years, I need 5 studs out of these 2 drafts. 5. Because next year I'm going to have 2 first rounders. So now I'm looking for 5 studs in the next 2 years. And studs mean all pros. Okay? That's how you change it around. That's how you rebuild. Okay? Simple as that. Boom. Night. Now you can fill free agents around that. All right, around that course of studs. Oh, Tom, it's harder it's a little harder than it really is. No, it's not. If you don't reach, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape. And all pros come in all different shapes and sizes. Not everybody's going to be a skill position all pro, right? You might draft a middle linebacker all pro. You might draft an offensive lineman that becomes an all pro, right? You might draft a safety or whatever, corner, and maybe these guys don't come in the first and second round. Right, but you need 5 of them. So figure out how the fuck you get there. Okay, and pound the like button right now, wherever you're watching. If we need at least 5 pimps over the next 2 years in our drafts, and at least a minimum of 2 this year. At least
it's not hard, Tom. It's not hard at all because it's so clear that the Jeffrey Lurie type people are just. I mean, it is Jeffrey Lurie. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to watch the national title game and I'm just going to judge off of that. Or, I'm going to try and find the sneaky pick at freaking TCU of all schools. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I don't care where you ran from either, but like, just, you can't reach on the player. Like, you know what I mean? Like you want to go to TCU, fine. If the guy's really projected to be there, not more of an early second round guy. You know what I mean? Like you're putting a guy at the first round grade. That's the reach. That's what Bryce saying. We're going to reach. He's like, I'm nervous. I'm right. Wait. Yo, 103 people watching on YouTube, 76 likes. Get us up over 100. Let's go. What's taking y'all so long? Hit that subscribe button.
Did you guys? And I definitely trust him. He's one of the few voices outside of us, in this city that I really trust in this city. Yeah. Ray Didinger.
Okay.
Did you hear what he said the other day? Somewhere on the dial, he said that he believes through NFL sources and looking back on it that. Looking back 12 months, that the Eagles could have easily have taken Jefferson or let's say Patrick Queen in the first, Rager in the second, and then Hurts in the third.
I saw that. Yep.
And people were like, oh, well, Rager's not getting up to the second. It's somewhere in the second. They could have traded up and given up an extra 4th or something to move up to get Rager. They could have gotten Hurts. Whatever.
Queen or Jefferson, I don't give a shit. And that's what we all wanted. One of the two. And this year they got to be able to do that because there is going to be one of the two of some form or fashion at 6, right? There's going to be guys at 6. There's going to be Pitts, Chase, Sartain, Smith, like Parsons, whatever. Like so, there's one of them guys is going to be there. You know what I mean? like impactful guys is going to be right there at 6. And I'm venturing to guess at 37, right? There's going to be another impactful guy sitting there. Because 37's early in the second round now. It's an early second round pick. So that's got to be another playmaker, which that early second should be able to get you back up in the first if a guy like Collins is there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I got a game-changing middle linebacker on the board, do what you didn't do last year, like Jim Schwartz asked you to do, and don't miss and not draft a guy like Patrick Queen, and don't do it again this year. So come out of this draft with Smith, Chase, Pitts, whatever, and another star. And that's got to be in the first round or second round.
That's why I've been so hell-bent, and I'll continue to say it. That's why I want so badly for them to trade back to 9, get that additional pick at 40, then have the option to use that extra second rounder to move back up in the first.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't even mind having that, though. You know, if you told me I had 37 and 40, like I'm feeling
9,
good.
37, and 40, and then the additional picks that you're going to get. Holy hell. Now, Howie's probably going to miss on those.
Because, sorry. Then you have two. Sorry, then you have what? We have 2/3?
I think we have 2 or 3/3. Yeah, because we don't have a fourth. I think we have 2.
We definitely have 2/3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, you could walk out of here, and you should really with all starters. Now, how many are going to be good? Well, can you give me 3? Can you give me 3 that are like all Pro Bowl caliber players, and two others that are just good starters? Like you could do that. It's not crazy. Just not guys that are going to be off your team in 2 years because they stink. No, we did not sign Flacco yet. Bob said he's late. Bankroll, Jabril Cox, Justin Hillard, they're good names. We do have 2/3. Yep. So you could have right. You go to 9, like you said. You know, you have 9, 37, 40, and then 2/3. Well,
5 picks in the first 3 rounds.
That second and third, the extra second and third, can get you back up in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So then you could have another first, a second, and a third. So you could have 2 firsts, a second, and a third.
You're playing on house money. Money.
Yeah, well, then your 2 firsts got to be home run hitters.
And the drop from 6 to 9 is not even a big drop. It's not.
No, you should be able to get a baller there. You're inside the top 10.
The run of quarterbacks that we think is going to happen, where there's going to be 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 6 or top 5. Well, you know who that's going to help? The Philadelphia Eagles, because that's going to push down the wide receivers. It's going to push down Pitts, Sartain, Farley, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to push all of them down. Let the run of quarterbacks go. More options for us. And also a team, that could get crazy. Like the Patriots, they're going to trade from 15 to 6, or the Broncos trade from 9 to 6, or the Panthers from 8 to 6. There's options there. And again, if they hit on it, obviously, which is like a 20% chance he actually hits on it because it's Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, but the opportunity to have 9, 37, and 40 with the ability to stay there and just take 2 high-end second-round picks, or use one of those an additional pick later to move back up in the third or back up into the first and take, I know somebody was saying Najee Harris or Zaven Collins or Sonny Samuel Jr. if he doesn't get out of the first. Those are all options you have. And then boom, you don't lose any value. You do not lose any assets because you acquired that additional pick and still got your guy in the first.
Yep. And Jacob, that's spot on. Yo, guys, come on, get us over 100 likes on YouTube before this show's over in about 12 minutes, not even 10 minutes. We got the Sports Hounds at 7:15, Flight Zone at 9:30. Come on, get us over. I seen that too, Bankroll. He's dropping, and I think it's hurting a guy like that not playing this year. Mm-hmm. Right? Chase, it's sort of like it won't hurt him as much because he had fucking 20 touchdowns the year before. So,
and he's a specimen.
Yeah, and he's a skill position guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could hurt Parsons just on what teams' needs are. You know, the team's looking for a linebacker. Like I would have no problem taking Parsons at 9 and going to bed. So other people would have a problem with it. I wouldn't, because I'll go get. You know, I would just load up on my defense. Right? I'll trade back into the first. I'll get the best corner left on the board. Like I would just load up.
That's true, Sportsman Philly. He says we'll be praying for Tom if he goes AWOL and ends up at the NovaCare Center to scream at poor Howie. Be praying for Howie, not Tom. Tom will be fine.
Oh, depend. It could be. Prism, I don't know, but we're streaming live on mine, so on Twitter. So who knows? They don't tell you anything.
What's this, Scott? 37 and 40 equals, we're getting heavy into the analytics, equals 1,030 draft points, which is equivalent to pick 15, 16. Sounds fun.
So I mean,
I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds fun.
No. I mean, it means, okay, you could, worst case, well, I guess you could use both of them and get up that high, but you don't want to go back there.
Oh, like the value. Okay, I see what you're saying. The value. Okay.
Wanted to, like, you could use 37 and 40 and get yourself all the way up there points wise on how they do it. So I mean, it's interesting. Maybe if you really love somebody, maybe it's where you come back up into the first, right?
Get like Sartain and Bateman in the first. You know what I'm saying?
Or Sartain Parsons, or Smith, or Chase Parsons, or
Waddle and Sartain,
or Pitts Parsons, right? I mean, there's options. Sartain Pitts. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Don't say that in front of me. I'll go through the ceiling. God, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Oh, bullshit. Yeah. I know. Fucking. Oh.
I'll be writing that on my refrigerator. Jesus.
Pitts and Sartain would be fun. I mean, Sartain and Parsons would be delicious, because then I feel like my defense is fucking good. My defense is good. You give me Parsons.
Pitts and Horn. Oh God.
Now, Pitts and Horn doesn't excite me as much as is like I hate all defensive, like Sartain Parsons would excite me probably the most, because I'm like, I really feel like I just addressed two big things for my future: linebacker and corner, and I feel like I'm in a great spot. Oh, Pitts and Parsons would be insane. I said Pitts and Sartain would be insane. Sartain and Parsons is the one that really does it for me, though, because I love Sartain, and I think Parsons can be a stud. There's a little inconsistency issues, but he's a fucking freak. He's a freak. So I'll take my chances from linebacker. You. Waddle, shut up, Don.
That's friggin' nightmare fuel, Don. Jesus, that's like the worst case scenario. And again, I like both players, but not here, please, for the love of God.
Pitts or Chase? See, I'll go off with a guy that's been healthy then, where I'd have to go Chase. Okay, like, I'm not gonna be unfair to Jamar Chase. Pitts 40 time, like Joe was saying, and I didn't get a chance to read it, and I'm gonna get into this right now, but I mean, people are going to blow him. Guys, a lot of guys ran great 40s. Kyle Pitts is a mismatch nightmare. Nobody said that more than me. All right, but the injuries concern me at 6. At 6. Concerning. I don't take him at 6. I don't take him inside the top 10. Let somebody else do it. Right? I need somebody who's been on the field, a track record, and there's tons of – listen, there is plenty of playmakers that you can get at 6 that have played and have not been banged up the whole time. At this point, you got to see what Dallas Goedert is. Okay? He needs to be getting the ball thrown to him. You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like another young guy. I don't even want to draft a wide receiver or tight end, personally. Right? I would go all defense and just load up, create an identity, be able to get some fucking stops. Okay? That's what I would do, but they're not going to do that. So if you are going to do this, then be smart about it. Understand that one guy scored 20 touchdowns, the other guy scored 20 touchdowns. You really can't go wrong with Chase or Smith. You can't at wide receiver. I don't want to even go wide receiver, though. I'll go Sartain, come back up in the first round, get Parsons, or come back up in late in the first and get Collins, right? I would do something like that. So now, okay, all right, I got a middle linebacker for my future and a corner for my future. No, there's no injury concerns with Smith weighing 170 pounds because he won't always be 170 pounds, Scott. The problem is, was there any injury concerns playing in the highest level of college football in the SEC? No. So why there's more injury concerns with Jalen Waddle than there is with Smith.
That's why I'm saying no to Waddle. If Waddle was healthy this year, I would consider taking him in the top 10. He wouldn't be my first choice, but he was banged up.
He was. Scott, listen to me. I'll book it. He's 180, 185 by the start of the season. You can write that down. Write it down. He's 180 at least by the start of the season. He's up 10 pounds. 180, 185. He's not going to come in 170. How much Tyreek Hill weigh? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that one. There's a lot of guys who look like Tarzan that get banged up all day.
How much? 185?
I agree. Devontae has that dog in him. Big time dog.
Yeah, but see, Scott, he says how many 170 pounders in the NFL? He's not going to always be 170 pounds. He's 170 pounds now. He's not always going to be.
Yeah, he's 20, 21 years old. He's going to get in NFL workout programs, which are even better than Alabama's. All right. Better than Alabama's. So I don't know what people like. Chad Johnson said the same thing. Like he was under. Come on, 103 people watching, 92 likes. Come on, we're right there. Get us over there. Get us over 100. Get us over 100. If you're excited about the draft, get us 100. If you want to follow all our draft coverage with the Eagles, make sure you hit that subscribe button too. We're going to do obviously tons of things leading up to the NFL draft, especially at pick and 6. We're even going to be more fired up. And if you watch last year's videos, we'll taste of what you're about to get. Well, hopefully not. I mean, hopefully, they have a better thing than that. Tom, no way is Avion Collins or Sunday Samuel Jr. better than Kamara. Just watch the tape. I'm not. Okay. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Did you mention Karamora?
No, I didn't say a bad word about him. I don't know what.
I don't remember you saying anything about Karamora.
I didn't bring up his name.
No, I think somebody in the chat did. I don't remember. I've never said Karamora on air. I don't think you have either.
I'm Scott. Then don't pick him, Scotty. I'm just kidding. Then don't pick him.
Come on, Scotty.
Then pick Chase. Right? You know what I mean? Then pick Chase then. Or
it's true, Prism. Prism.
Or pick Sartain. Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? Guys are small. He's elusive. He gets open.
Ooh, this is a good question, Bundy. Who has the biggest bust potential out of Pitts, Devontae, and Chase? I would say it's Pitts because of the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a question. Now, if you're talking skill
and tight ends in the top 10, never pan out.
No.
Never. Don't tell me.
And fam, we know he's not a tight end. So before you, he's not a tight end. He's technically a tight end. So, and I love Pitts. I was pitched up. I still am pitched up. But as far as sheer bust potential, like this storyline, like, oh, he's the behind Trevor Lawrence. Like there was like a bunch of guys. Cowherd said it the other day. Oh, after Trevor Lawrence, the safest pick in the draft is Kyle Pitts. That's BS. That's BS.
The safest pick in the draft outside of Trevor Lawrence, honestly, and people are going to laugh at this, is Devontae Smith. He's the safest pick. He's been open for 4 years. He's weighed less his freshman year and was fine.
Yes.
He gets open.
Okay.
He gets open. He's going to be a playmaker in this league. There's no doubt about it. He's safe. He played football last year, won the Heisman, got better every single year. Right? That's the safe one. Chase is also safer than Pitts in reality.
If I'm rating as far as safest picks or most surefire picks, I would rank it Lawrence, Sewell, Smith. If I had to rank those three,
the whole thing. Oh. Well, Lawrence to me is a no-brainer.
But you're also saying after, like, Lawrence is the given pick. Yeah.
Like to me, the safest pick is Sartain at 6. Like that's my safest pick in the world. My safest pick at 6 is Patrick Sartain, and it's not even close to me. He's more safe than Smith or any of these guys. He really is. He's almost on the level of safeness as Trevor Lawrence. Like I'm serious, right? Like that's how I feel about him. He's on that level of safeness. Like he's going to play corner in this league at a high level for fucking 10 years.
Oh, listen, you know me. Day one, he shows up and he goes. You don't have to teach anything to that kid.
This is Sartain Island. You know what I mean? It's Sartain Island.
As a number 2, too. He's not even. We don't even need him to be our star. Number 2.
See, Jesse, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong about Sewell and Slater being the safest. I'm just not looking at offensive linemen at 6 right now because I have 2 guys on my right side, or my left side, that were both picks here in Dillard and Salomalo and Mulata over there. So the other, I feel like I'm going to try to address the center and like Brooks and Lane down the road. I'm going to keep drafting them guys in like the, maybe with one of my second, third round picks. You know what I mean? Like sort of use those picks to try to just continue to try to develop guys, right? And then if you have to, then you go next year, right? And you take one if these guys don't pan out. But you got to see some of these other guys pan out.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, we got literally a minute or two. Sartain Island, you guys would love it. Bankroll Bundy, it'd be the greatest thing in the world.
Tom, what are the polls for the 2 shows coming up? Sorry, I kind of hit you with that last second. My bad. Mr. Wing, I disagree. Listen, I'm not going to say they're like going to double their wins first year, but I think he's going to be fine. The situation there would have to be so bad, and I'm not saying it's going to be perfect year one, but he's going to be fine there. NFC East. What if Lawrence drops a 6? I'll shave my head on the air. It's not happening.
Then I don't get arrested and I take him. But then I wonder why he drafted 6, and I've watched.
Yeah, then I start getting worried. Like if he gets the 2, I get worried. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, then I watch draft day again and start to realize maybe his teammates don't like him. So
yeah, I didn't go to the birthday party. He didn't read the playbook.
Yep, all kinds of things.
I mean, it's Urban Meyer we're talking about. Like if Urban Meyer of all guys passes on Trevor Lawrence, don't take Trevor Lawrence.
I would think he knows him. So
I would think so. Yeah.
All right, fam. Stay tuned. Sports Hounds live in 1 minute here on A2D Radio, and you got Flight Zone following them at 9:30. Sports Hounds, Gonzaga is still the favorite in the tournament. Agree or disagree? Stay tuned for them. I'm going to say disagree. I love Alabama and LSU in this tournament for some reason. So
Loyola, Chicago. And by the way, fam, go over and tell Brad. Just remind him that Rutgers choked last night. Just remind him.
Give him a reminder.
Yeah.
Troll Brad. Have fun with him. We love him, but we're going to troll his ass.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple as that. We're here to troll. Enjoy it. We love you guys. Thanks for all the comments, questions. Drove the show. Don, I'm sorry, but let's go LSU. Got a lot of